stay woke. The dawning of the proper Bassin man is now. The time is now. It is Wednesday night. Bass Galaxy, this is what we call the glorified version of a bass fishing talk show. It's Stray Cass. Yes. Kapooch. Kapouch. Kapow. And I'm your host, Pat Renwick. It is Wednesday night. And we are super excited as usual. Uncontainable. I'm about to mess some stuff up here tonight. Are you guys ready? It's about to get dangerous. Más peligroso.
I'm a little nervous.
Más peligroso. You see the crazy look in my eyes? Más peligroso.
It's not that much different than usual.
I know, they're always crazy. Esta noche en el Stray Cass de Autor Cartoon Television Telemundo is tonight because it is the return of the one and the only, the prodigy, the golden child, BMP. Brandon Palaniuk's coming back tonight. Yeah. That's how we do it, IG Live. For all you on IG Live.
It's going to join the Alphalution.
Lucky Pants making it 286 episodes. That's how many. Can you get these pants, Danny, on IG Live?
Oh, yeah.
286 episodes.
Those things aren't even pants anymore, though.
They're jants.
You can see your entire leg. One leg is fully exposed.
You should see me at the grocery store in these. It's amazing.
You're going to get a ticket.
Ladies and gentlemen, this guy that is all teeth and smiles sitting next to me, it's the one and only Ryan Popcorn Whitaker. He plays drums.
I'm going to play guitar tonight, maybe.
Woo.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
I brought that.
Spoiler alert. It's Ryan Popcorn Whitaker. What have you been up to, Ryan? What have you been doing?
Just tying a lot of jigs.
Jig tying son of a gun, aren't you, you old sailor, you?
Yeah.
Aren't you? Is she still here? You try trying jigs under the table. She's still here?
Yeah, man, just in the basement, a whole lot not seeing the sun.
Since you don't know when.
It's getting weird.
Your tan is way off.
I need to fish. I need to fish.
This whole spring madness is definitely set. It's definitely it's grabbed us.
Yeah.
It's grabbed us and choked us.
It's cabin fever is what it's called.
Cabin fever.
Yeah.
You know, there's been a lot of fever going around.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that.
Yeah.
You know who's got the fever?
He lost it.
You know who's got the fever and he lost it, but he gained the bass fishing fever back? It's the one and only college intern, Danny Mojakowski.
Yep, I'm feeling a lot better this week.
If you were Polish, your name would be Danny Mojakowski.
It's got to have a ski at the end, of course.
Danny Mojakowski.
Dickie Mojanski.
Dickie Mojakowski. That's your Southside name.
Sounds about right.
Hey, Dickie Mojakowski. So what's new? What you been up to? Any college cuts or anything going on?
There is a new College Cuts. It's on YouTube. It's already posted.
It's up now? It dropped already?
It is up now, yep.
It dropped, like the kids say.
Yeah, they put it in the internet. It went right through.
It went right through. They sent it.
It dropped.
Oh, yeah. Dropped like a ball. It's Mason Waddell and Cal Culpepper. It's Montevallo College.
Awesome. College Cuts highlighting the new and up-and-coming college anglers. And Danny Mohan,
Bingo.
our intern, hosts that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hosts that.
Yeah.
You know who's a host also? But usually more of a DJ host that used to break dance but doesn't break dance anymore and spin and do the centipede, but he doesn't do the centipede, but he does other dances that aren't really dances, but
He used to
they're
do the
just
centipede.
more like moves and stuff that rap people do. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the OG hip-hop fisherman. What the hell's a rap people? It's JP High.
He's a rap people.
You're a rap people. It's the original hip-hop fisherman. White as white bread gets, but you're an OG hip-hop fisherman.
Damn right.
Got yourself a collar tonight. I like that.
You are very sophisticated.
Yeah.
Sophisticated.
Looking good.
Look at you with a collar, JP High.
Collar out the hoodie.
He truly is dynamite.
It's a prime look.
It's really good on him. We were talking about collars, too.
One of those rap people.
You're one of those rap people.
I'm actually colorblind.
Like, what is... Like, did you ever actually rap?
Sometimes when I'd have a few adult pops.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I got you.
Yeah.
But more or less, you were termed the. Oh, we just did a press release, and you were termed the OG hip hop fisherman. And but where does that come from? That's what I want to know.
Just growing up with all my friends were hip hop heads.
We're rap people.
Yeah, none of them fished.
I was a rap people.
I was the weirdo.
Yeah.
So you kind of grew up in the rap culture, but you fished.
Exactly.
I pictured you more of like a hype man, because every time you hook up in the back of the boat when we fish teams, I just hear, yeah.
Yeah, he is. He's like DJ Khaled.
That's what I imagine.
He's
you
like the
doing on stage.
DJ Khaled of bass fishing.
A little offended, but I'll take it.
I hate that guy, DJ Khaled. Honestly, I'm going to choke him and kick him in the teeth.
Yeah, he's
if I
a
had
wuss on
chance.
hot ones.
Speaking of hot ones, ladies and gentlemen, you know who's a hot-ass producer and a hell of an engineer? He's red on the head like his earphones should be.
That's how that goes.
It's Andy Ellenberger. He's a ginger ninja. Everybody say hi, Andy.
Look at him.
I'm doing that strange thing where it's talk, exciting talk. And it's Andy, he's a ginger ninja. And he's a producer. He's a punk rock producer, too. Welcome, Andy. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Andrew Ellenberger, the ginger ninja. That's how you do chow chow. Foo! 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 See that? See how we do that right
good.
there?
That was
We don't even need the voice.
Yeah.
We don't even need the noises.
Yeah,
You got
whatever.
it.
No.
That was just all pew, pew. That was Andy's mouth. That wasn't nothing else but that. Did you like the whisper? What do they call that type of porn?
No.
Touch whisper.
Type of porn.
Yeah, it's
what?
a type of porn. Yeah. I saw it on Howard Stern.
On Howard Stern.
100%.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like whisper. It's weird. It's weird stuff.
Okay.
We'll get into that with Brandon. Don't worry. Remind you, Brandon Palaniuk coming up tonight, right here on Straight Cast. But what do you want to do, guys? What do you want to give away tonight?
I think it's about time we give away some line and lure. Spring's coming
Yeah.
around. People need some fresh line and lure.
He's Andrew Ellenberger. He's the Ginger Ninja.
The Ginger Ninja.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Andy, the Ginger Ninja.
Yeah.
I want you to cheer up, Andy. Can you cheer up, please? Give yourself a round of applause. For dang sakes. Put the
Giving away
camera,
line and lure. You're
put the
not gonna
camera
burn
on
your
you.
thumbs anymore.
Put the camera on these guys over there. Take the camera off me and Ryan. I want to see Danny. There they are. Hi, Danny. Hi, JP. Hi, Andy. Now, what are we giving away? What are we giving away? Line and lure?
We are going to give away $50 worth of the KVD line and lure.
$50 worth
give
of
away-
KVD line and lure.
give
That's
away-
a lot of lubrication.
That's a lot of lubrication.
Yeah.
That sure is.
It's for some. Yep. It's for some.
So
dirty-
let's throw some. So let's throw
For
some
some
Bout of Stern.
slanging.
Let's
For
throw some
slanging
Bout of
some
Stern
baits.
in there as
Slang.
well. This show is going
Little Bout of
way,
Stern?
way somewhere. Way
Some Armor
somewhere.
Shield, maybe?
I don't know, but it's amazing. I love it. So let's throw some Armor Shield and some Bout of Stern
Yeah.
and some line and lure.
And just make it a whole.
$50 worth. How do they win it? How do they get it?
You know what? The way you win it is you go to the Facebook, you like and share the live feed, and then you automatically get entered into JP High's calculator thingy. And
Calculator.
Calculator. And then he
Yes.
picks a name. Simple as that. So go like and share the live feed, and JP High will put it in his calculator, and he'll pick you.
Okay.
Keep in mind if you say nice things about him.
Yeah,
get pushed
actually,
up in that.
in the Facebook feed, throw in some nice comments. Say, Jay, you're looking good today and stuff. He might pick you just because of
You
that.
never know.
Yeah.
You never know. Greasing goes everywhere. But that's it. Like and share the live Facebook feed, and you have a chance to win $50 worth of KVD line and lure, as well as Bout of Stern and Armor Shield products. A couple other things I want to go over before we go to the break. So I got some emails, and I want to clarify a couple things that they're like, okay, Pat, last week you were talking about people not washing their hands at sports shows and,
Exactly.
and having stinky jerseys. Did you guys get the emails too?
Oh, yeah.
Did you get the hate mail?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Just because
I-
there was pike slime on my jersey doesn't mean you got to talk about me.
Well, just wash it. No, and it's not the pike slime. We like that. We like
the sour,
We
though.
like bass and smell. We like fish smell. We like that. It's not. It's the body odor. But here's what I'm getting at. Like it was kind of cut off. I was being hurried, and it was. I wanted to make the point that I got email saying, "Hey Pat, you said that." You could, if you're going to be a Bass Pro, you can get 30% off at Carl's, and then you're a Bass Pro. Well,
Yeah.
you misunderstood me.
you have to
That's-
pay for your own boat wrap, though.
they have to pay for your
First.
own boat. No,
Yeah.
hear me out. Hear me out. What I was trying to say is a lot of people that think they're Bass Pros get 10% off, and they consider themselves professionals. We've heard about the 10%ers, right? No,
Yeah.
not like you, Danny. What are you even doing?
Pro.
It says,
Yeah,
it says
it's-
I'm pro.
oh,
so
yeah.
I'm obviously
That's-
a
You
pro.
are a pro.
You are a
I'm
pro.
not. It says I'm a
But
pro.
that's
so
mystery
come on
tackle
now.
box, pro box. We
We don't know what you're pro of, but you're pro.
But there's a
am-
lot of people out there that are 10%ers, and they think they're pros, right?
Oh yeah.
So what I was getting at is I can make you better than a Bass Pro. I can get you a better discount than those 10%ers at Carl's. All you got to do is go to Carl's. It's $49.95 to be a member of Carl's Club for the year. A year.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. There's a free trial going on right now. Go to Carl's, shopcarls.com. Check it out and become a member. It's 30% off of most products. Costs you $50, on the front up. But
Yep.
you could do the free trial. And then boom. So that's what I mean. You could do
Yeah.
better than those 10%ers. You get yourself 30% off at Carl's. Shop Carl's.com.
There's a pretty popular vibrating bait out there that's only about $12 with that deal. Just throwing that out there.
Aha. Are you talking about the one that's orange?
Yeah. It's orange sometimes. Looks like a chicken.
The one that Jordan Lee caught 36 pounds on yesterday?
That'd be the one.
Oh, I mean, orange.
Yeah.
You throwing orange?
12 something bucks.
Here's an example. A Abu Garcia Black Max, regular retail $60, Carl's Club $45. So it's like $15. Boom.
Solid.
There's a solid example of it. Speaking of solid, put those power poles down. Don't go anywhere. We're coming back with the one and only Brandon Palaniuk. Boom. The all-new XF series by Crestliner. Simplistic perfection with performance features built on a platform for success. The amazingly affordable XF series by Crestliner. A brand new way to reel in bass. For more information and to find your local dealer, visit Crestliner.com today. The Crestliner Real Deal Sales Event. The best time to buy is now at Crestliner.com. Save up to $3,000 today.
This is Carl. He's been obsessed with fishing since he was a widow tadpole. People have always said he has a unique style, that he skips to the speed of his own cast, so to speak. So, when he started his own tackle shop, he did it his way, with exciting new products every month and great deals on fishing essentials. But the best part? He started a club with amazing member benefits. Go say hi to Carl at shopcarls.com.
The TH Marine Hydrowave H2 KVD Edition is a surefire way to ignite a feeding frenzy. The Hydrowave utilizes a sound-emitting technology that imitates bait fish and other feeding fish below the surface that preys on the competitive nature of bass and other game fish to get you more bites. The Hydrowave is another way that TH Marine has you covered from transom to trolling motor.
Step up your game. It has been said that professionals are only as good as the tools they work with, and Alpha Angler has developed the ultimate set of tools for you, the competitive angler. Alpha Angler custom rods, brought to fruition by the passion of master craftsman Jake Boomer and 2017 BASS Angler of the Year Brandon Palaniuk. Alpha Angler rods are custom made in the USA. Designed and engineered to be perfect, Alpha Angler utilizes a very unconventional approach to making the very best bass rods, from drop shotting to flipping. Alpha Angler's focus is on building perfectly balanced tournament-grade bass rods at an affordable price. Join the Alphalution today and purchase direct at alphaangler.com. Step up your game. alphaangler.com.
Minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff.
As a professional angler, I rely on my equipment to be successful on the water, and my eyewear is no exception. Oh, yep, good one. 6 pounder, 7 pounder. From daylight till dark, every single day of my life. In the truck, on the water. My Amphibia eye gear provide 100% polarized protection. They're ANSI safety rated for impact, and best of all, they float.
Bite me! It's a command to the fish. Quality jig heads with quality components. With tried and true tackle like the Big Dude Goby head, the Hunter or Jacob head, or all new tackle like the Jackpot Net head or Buster swim bait head. Bite me. It's a command to the fish. Get the lead out and visit BiteMeTackle.com today.
Hey guys, Micah Frazier here. I've got a bait from War Eagle Baits called the Buzz Toad. Big thing lately has been putting a toad style bait on a buzz bait, and preferably it's my favorite way to fish one. This bait here's got a quick planing head, a great hook, and it squeals right out of the package. The body of this bait is big and bulky, so it allows you to skip it. It planes quicker than a skirted bait would. In my opinion, it's just the way to fish a buzz bait. So y'all check this thing out. It's pretty awesome.
Throw farther, get some Kevin Van Dam's line and lure. You can launch it a mile. Still going. Well, better stick to fishing.
The swim jig technique is one of the most successful ways to put fish in the boat. Time in and time out, Brovani Baits swim jigs are just the right tool for the job. Beaming with quality, the Brovani swim jigs come in a myriad of colors, feature the best premium hooks and solid trailer keepers to give you, the serious bass angler, the confidence you need to accomplish your goal of putting more fish in the boat. So go to BrovaniBaits.com and start climbing the ladder to swim jig success.
I said, Bass Galaxy, can I get an amen?
Amen.
Can I get an hallelujah?
Hallelujah.
I need some testification. Testify.
Testify.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about Mr. Ginger, give me a beat? Ah, yeah. Hallelujah. It's time for the prodigy. Yeah, it's time. He's back on Straight Cast Outdoor Cartoon. Yeah, it's time. Can I get some testify? It's time for BMP right here on SCTV. Ah, yeah. Woo! Hallelujah. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Bassmaster Elite Series angler, Brandon Palaniuk. Yes.
Nice job, Reverend.
Woo!
Reverend Pat.
Testify.
Dude.
Testify, Mr. Palaniuk.
Dude, how many times did you work on that?
Not very many.
Not Mary.
Not very many.
Not Mary.
Not
baby.
very many.
Not
That
very
is,
many.
I am solidly impressed.
Well, thank you. I actually went over it like 6 times during my jog today. I'm not going to lie. It was in my head. And then my amazing crew here, we had a little pep meeting, you know, a little grand gathering before the show to lift our spirits. And that's when it happened. Brandon Palaniuk, we are so happy to have you back, if you can't tell.
I am excited. Of course, I missed you at Chicago.
Yeah,
walking around. I'm like helpless, don't have my manager. All I got's a ginger, and I'm just there.
You fired me. Remember, I brought you this fortune and fame. I brought you fancy cups like you're drinking out of right now. And what did you do? You dropped me in the gutter.
I don't know if I can fire you if you were self-appointed. I thought we talked about that.
That's right. And Brandon, I saved you from a couple stop and chats, I think, there at the show.
100%.
Yeah. Of course, you had to
100%.
chat
You're
with
hired.
me, so that's just as bad. Yeah.
Ryan kidnapped him. That's even better. So all those checks I wrote to myself are meaningless from you?
I mean, they're not meaningless. They probably still cashed.
They're all big checks too. He's got them.
They're giant. I made my own. I just put I forged the signature. But dude, come on. I want to just get all this out of the way right away. We are very, very happy that you're back in the elites.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah.
Give it up for Brandon Palaniuk. Okay, right there. Wow.
Had a blast.
That's a big,
Absolute blast.
it's
Last week. I mean, first Derby, finished 15th in Florida. Feeling pretty good right now.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Did better than the last time you won AOY. I heard you say you were like 295th place or something. And
That's right.
Might as well been. Actually, it would have been more financially beneficial if I would have just stayed home and not drove all the way to Okeechobee. Because I didn't need the 4 points that I got at that event.
that was then, this is now. So with that, I ask you, where are you right now? Where are you?
I am sitting in Carl Jochumson's house.
Okay.
It's his shop house.
It's a
So
shop
here,
house.
let me give you a little up. So there's my boat.
Oh, I see that. Look at that.
Right past it is Jochumson's boat.
It's a carrot.
Since I made certain decisions in 2019, I will not be fishing the Classic in 2020 on Gunnersville. I will be working, and so I'm leaving my boat here since they postponed Chickamauga.
Right.
And I'm gonna be doing a bunch of work for Yamaha and stuff like on the water, starting before the Classic. So I'm going to be doing a bunch of interviews and work for them. So I'm going to leave my boat here. Carl just bought this place, which is awesome.
We saw, yeah. I mean, that's amazing. But let me stop you. And what I meant when I said, where are you, is I meant, where are you at, man? Like, where's your head at right now? How are you feeling right now? This is
didn't mean like physically.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, that was good. I was going to get to that, but mentally, man, I was trying to trick you on purpose. But the whole thing is, I want to know how you're feeling. This is a big time of your life, Brandon.
I'm trying to think of what the right words are for it. I feel like all the stars are aligned.
Okay.
Maybe. For me, like, I'll be honest, it was a little weird not knowing what everyone was catching on the first day of the Derby last week. Like, to be sitting there and be like, I don't know what anyone else has.
I think I'm doing good.
To wait to find out at weigh-ins. But part of it, like the part that I really enjoyed was kind of being able to have the freedom to make decisions on, like, okay, I got a limit. How do I go catch a big one? You know, and being able to adjust and make those decisions. I enjoyed that. The crowds were awesome. You know, at this point in my career, I feel, and it's not brought on by anything other than myself, but I feel a sense of responsibility to grow the sport and make it as good as possible. And that's really only brought on by myself, but that I've always felt like that was important, right? I want to, if I retire in 20, 30 years, I want to look back and say that I made a positive impact.
And you've always been that way.
That's proper Bassin.
Yeah, that is proper Bassin, and you've said that since day one.
Yes,
you really have.
And it holds true, and my decision making goes towards that, right? Like I will always take less money, or like I'll make decisions based on that, because I feel like that's so important, more so than like financially based decisions. If that makes sense.
Would it be fair to say decisions based on heart versus decisions based on money?
Yes.
But hold on now. But you are in a position where you can make those decisions, right? Like,
yeah, I think I got to give credit to my mother here on this. Like, I think I was brought up in that way of, I just grew up in an environment that we didn't have a lot of money. So I didn't put a lot of, I guess, like focus on money, or I didn't have like a strong desire. I guess I had like a desire for money, but I didn't have like the importance, like, oh, money is something you have to have. Like, that's not the thing that creates happiness. And I'm the kind of person that feels like you make decisions that create a better life for yourself, something that you're going to enjoy and you can look back on it, and money doesn't create that. Money makes it easier to do things. Yes. Like, we all need money to pay our bills and do things that we want to do.
Sure.
Like fishing rods.
Gas for the boat and
they're
the
not
truck.
cheap. Like,
yeah.
You got to buy a fishing line and you got to buy baits and stuff. Like, you need money for that.
We need to get the disposables need to replenish, in other words.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
But you just wanted to catch them.
Making money is not the most important thing in my life. Enjoying my life is the most important thing. And that's where a lot of my decision makings come from. And, you know, like when you drive from Idaho all the way to Florida, you know, from this side all the way down.
You got some time to think, don't you, Brandon?
Side, you got 50 hours. It creates a lot of thinking time, and you learn to understand like what things are really important. And I think some of that comes with age too.
And you are a wiser man. I mean, that's why I mean, and I mean that, and that's why I kind of want to go through this with you. I think that everyone's life is like a book, and agree or disagree with me. Would you agree that everyone's life is sort of like a book, whether it be your personal book or your family is watching your book, but life is a book? Do you know what I'm saying? Did we freeze up on
everyone write a we froze up for a second, but everyone has a book, right? Because everyone has a story of their life.
Sure.
And you have different chapters of your life as you grow older, and that's what life is.
Okay, and you're so we're on the same page.
We just happen to live in a fishing life, a fishing world.
Right. Is he froze up forever?
Yeah, just reset your video, Brandon.
Reset the vid, Brand.
I have no idea how to do that.
Turn it off and then turn it on.
Yeah.
Off?
There you go.
On.
Off.
Off. There he is.
go.
Now he's moving again. So
there we go.
I
So
want
animated.
I want to ask you to name a few chapters of your life. Okay? So let's talk about the first chapter. Let's call that like 2004. Now 2004, you're probably still in high school, right?
Yep.
Okay, so when did you
Sophomore
graduate?
high school.
Sophomore high school. All right, so 2004. Let's call high school Brandon. What do you want to call? Hungry. That's the hungry chapter. Hungry high school Brandon. I like it.
Yep.
Okay. Let's move on to 2010. 2010 was a big year for you. What happened in 2010, Brandon?
Breakout.
Breakout. The breakout chapter.
That would be the name of the chapter in 2010. So can I go just a little bit on this?
Hey, please, yes. I want you to. I asked you.
2010?
Yes, sir. Please do.
Okay, so 2010 was literally like the breakout year. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit because I'm in this area of the country right now. Like East Tennessee, Watts Bar. 2010 was the year that me and my buddy Mark Diaz said, hey, we're going to save our money. We're going to go on the road. We're going to fish a couple FLW events as a co-angler. I had qualified for the TBF Nationals as a boater, and that was on Watts Bar in East Tennessee. Never been there, but we're going to go make a couple months of it. We travel. We go and we practice on Watts Bar. Well, let me back up. First, we fish Table Rock Lake. He catches one bass. I don't know if I ever caught a bass. as a co-angler at Table Rock. So that money's gone. It's a 30-hour drive from Idaho to Table Rock, so all that fuel money is gone. Entry fees gone. Housing, lodging gone.
Unbelievable.
And then we go to Watts Bar, practice a little bit. We're getting on the interstate one day, and my boat gets rear-ended.
Oh, my God.
And luckily, I meet this guy, awesome guy. And he's not even sponsor compliant, but I'll give him a shout out because he helped me out. Bunch Marine. So Curtis at Bunch Marine helped me out, got my boat running. He is a Yamaha dealer. So he got everything fixed up. We go to North Carolina to Lake Norman, fishing as a co-angler on the FLW tour. And at this point, like I had to pay for my boat. Like I'm nearly out of money. Don't know if we're going to be able to get home. And I win Lake Norman as a co-angler and win 20 grand.
And you did the swim bait wiggle
You
dance.
posted one of those pictures.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys dug deep into some of those old photos.
And Ryan, tell him about
the
it.
swim bait wiggle
The
dance.
swim bait
Yes.
wiggle dance. Yes.
I remember that was the
wiggle.
first time I
Wiggle.
ever saw you on TV as an angler.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think a lot of people, that was the first time.
I mean, before then, nobody had a single clue who I was. So we do that, and then, hey, let me fix that. And so then I win 20 grand. We go, and I have another 2 days to practice on Watts Bar, and then it's off limits. Well, I find out there's a local tournament that weekend on Fort Loudon, but you could lock down to Watts Bar. I'm a 22-year-old kid that just won 20 grand. Of course, I'm going to gamble $250.
You're going fishing, dude.
Go burn some
Yeah,
gas.
and so like Defoe's fishing it,
Uh-oh.
Wesley Strader, like a bunch of these
Mallets.
like
All
East
these
Tennessee hammers, right? I had no idea. I'm like, oh yeah, we'll just go fishing. So me and my buddy go fish this team tournament for a $10,000 guaranteed first place prize. We win by 1/100th of a pound.
Oh my
With
gosh.
17.15, and second was 17.14. So
Wait
I
a
won
sec.
another 10 grand the
Okay.
next weekend.
So now we're at 30.
Wow.
Yeah, now I'm at 30. I'm like, this is amazing.
Bass fishing's awesome.
We take I've got like a week or 2 weeks off limits. We just fish around there. Then I fish the Nationals for TBF. I win for the Western Division, go to the All-American, finish 7th in the All-American, get a bunch of money there. Then I won like the divisionals for Idaho for the TBF. I won the divisionals for Idaho in the Bass Federation. I won both our opens.
Beasley.
Like 2010 was that breakout year where
Breakout chapter.
everything I fished, I won. Or I qualified for something. And that was the year that then in October, I won the national championship for the Bass Federation.
You sure
and
did.
Qualified for the Classic and qualified for the Elites. So in 2010, like, it's just one of those years where like everything rolled.
You blazed the trail.
Yeah, it was amazing. But a lot of it started like right here where I'm at right now. So it's kind of cool.
I like it. The breakout chapter.
And then I haven't worked a normal job since.
you did pretty good in that classic you qualified for that year too.
In Lake Kukalachabuchiwachi.
Katawachi.
Katawucha Hachiwuchi. Yes.
Yeah, fourth place.
Oh, Kevin Van Dam copied his pattern off
Not
of
too
you.
bad. Yeah.
Kevin would start copying Brandon, end up winning.
You know, man's got to do what a man's got to do.
That was, and KVD wasn't even using initials at that time.
No.
He was just Kevin Van Dam. You were already BMP.
That's right.
And then Kevin was like, I think I need to be initials too.
Took that from you?
This kid almost beat me in the Classic. And then
I
now
don't
he's
know
used,
that's true.
Well, that's a
but-
true story
No,
I
no.
just made up right now. That's absolutely
Oh, yeah.
true story that I just made up. All right, so we have the Hungry year. We have the Hungry chapter. We have the Breakout chapter. 2010, amazing year. Now let's jump up to 2017, Brandon. Another amazing chapter in your life. What's it called? And what happened?
Solidified.
Solidified. I like his terms. Keep going. Keep going.
So 2017 AOY. That for me was it was like that year that everything just comes together. Oh gosh, look at the music.
Yes.
It's getting so serious.
Yes, Brandon.
Don't stop.
Keep going.
And for me, it was really the year of like making the right decisions, open mind, and not being afraid to gamble when the time was right.
Okay.
And I had already won a couple events at that point, but it was weird. It was just one of those years where like everything just started to click, and I have to reference back to Okeechobee when I finished like 107th place because that I don't know that without that I would have won.
Right.
Okay. That was the kick in the pants.
Yeah, I had came off of a top 12 finish at at Lake Cherokee, and then we go to Okeechobee, and for me, I was thinking like, man, I finally had a good start to the year, right? Like I had a top 12. We go to Florida. I enjoy fishing at Okeechobee. I knew what to do, and I just made bad decisions, and I sucked it up. Finished at the bottom of the pack, and in that moment, I was like, screw this. From here on out, I'm just going to try to catch as much weight as I possibly can every single day and let it be what it is. And sometimes there's things that you can't control. And the way that worked out, I controlled a lot of the decisions that I made, but the fact that I won was not completely in my control.
Right.
Like everybody else had to finish where they were. I had to finish where I was.
It happened when it was supposed to happen.
And it was just one of those years where from Okeechobee on, the lowest finish I had was 18th place.
Right.
And that was amazing.
And it really seems like that's your formula for success is something
Just
bad.
suck it up.
Something bad, like lacrosse. You get disqualified on the river, and then you come back and win the next derby and make the classic. I mean, and then this story.
And you know what's funny? I have been that way my entire life.
It's a good quality, man.
From, like, even if you go to my wrestling days, my coaches used to absolutely hate it because I would be down in the first and I would be down in the second and I would come up and demolish the guy in the third.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
You're a beast.
And hey, you mentioned just going out there and catching all the weight that you can.
Weight.
Speaking of weight, I got some stats.
Hold on, B.
Okay.
We've done this with you before, but it's changed. And we kind of just want to show you how good bass was to you now that you're back here. Kind of a welcome back here. You fished 103 derbies with the Bassmasters.
103 derbs.
And then the weight thing.
Okay.
You caught 3,664 pounds of bass in those 103 derbies. It's good. It's good. I'm telling you. I've done this a lot. That's good.
3,000 what?
3,664 pounds.
Wow.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of LBs, bro.
A lot of pounds.
It's almost like 360 pounds.
Yeah.
No, it's like what? I don't know.
Ton.
36 pounds derby.
Ton.
Whatever.
It's, just
You're
it's the
a
same.
mather.
It
You're a
weighed a
mather.
ton of feathers and
Yeah.
a ton of bricks.
You won $1,189,000
That part's
out
good.
of all that. That part is good. And you know what's even better than that?
Wait.
That comes out to $324 a pound.
300. Every bass you've caught in your BASS career is worth $324 a pound.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if you sold that like at the fish market?
Right?
Nobody would buy it.
Yeah, it would be stinky and
Sure.
rubbery
Absolutely
and
no one.
nasty tasting. But
No. You'd have to autograph it.
you'd be broke.
ways.
$324 a pound.
And just a side note, you won $42K with FLW as well.
Yes.
Just with a co-angler.
Just a slight side note.
And hey, you only fished 8 FLW events. You had 6 top 10s and a win.
You know, what can I say?
And then you're like, go over here and try this. Go try this other place. Pretty good, man.
Here it is. Brandon
Sorry.
the Beast. He's Brandon the Beast. This just in, Brandon the Beast. So we have the Hungry chapter, the Breakout chapter, and then in 2017 you solidified. Now I want to bring you to 2019. What's the name of that chapter of your life? You left Bass and you went to MLF. What are you calling that chapter?
Trying to think of a good word for that one.
Growth.
Yes.
Well thought and well said. Growth. Why do you say that?
I feel like in 19 I grew more personally than I had previously.
What does that mean?
Like in 1 year.
What does that
And
even mean?
what I mean by that is I started to understand the things that were more important to me personally to be able to make those decisions, right? Like for everybody, as we get older, you go through periods of your life where you look at where you're at in your life and you kind of like adjust. You make different decisions based on where you want to go and where you're at in your life. And for me, 2019 was one of those years where I made decisions that I don't regret because they allowed me to grow as a person and kind of understand where I was and the things that were important to me. And I grew from that. And so I consider that a success.
Okay.
Like I made money. That part was great. I had a decent year fishing wise, but I felt like I really grew as a person and started to understand like where my place was in this industry, in this giant world that we live within, and the things that I wanted to do and what were important. And then my decisions following that were based off of that growth.
Okay, excellent. And now, was this a gradual decision, or was it something that you kind of knew? I mean, did it happen? Did it happen gradually? Or was gradual? Okay.
I would say it was the best way to put it is gradual. Walking off the classic stage was really hard for me to think. I don't know if you guys can hear this. I'm sorry, but it is like dumping rain right now.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that was our sound effects.
So
I thought we were in the ocean.
If you can hear that, I'm sorry, but it is dumping rain.
I hear that on Carl's roof.
For me, it was, I don't know, it was just like where the direction I needed to go for what I felt like was going to make the right impact.
Okay. You wear your heart on a sleeve, dude.
I do, and it can be good and bad.
I'm the same way, and that's it's a curse and a blessing, Brandon.
Yes,
it's the same thing, man.
But I think a lot of it's just that's the way that I grew up, and I love this sport so much. Like it's one of the most important things to me in my life. Because if I look back at different directions that I could have gone, this sport saved me in a lot of ways. Like I had some really good friends that we fished together when I was younger, and they went down really bad paths, and they went down,
me too, man,
roads that took them into bad places, long times in prison, and I was able to stay, like fishing consumed me so much that I was able to focus on that. Like nothing else mattered, almost to a point of too much. Right? Like I became selfish about it. And I think as I've gotten older, like I've learned how to manage that and understand that like I was very selfish for a long time in how much fishing meant to me. So now at 32, like I understand how to manage that and embrace it, right? Like how much bass fishing means to me, and that I want to make it, that I'm in a position that I have the ability to make it a better thing, and that I want to make it better for the next generation of guys that are coming up.
Like you always have. Like you always have.
And on that, like on the selfishness, we had Mark Zona was on, and he talked about a similar thing, and said, and I related to this as well. Like you spend a lot of time alone as an angler when you're trying to do this. I mean, you're out there by yourself all the time, driving, fishing, and Zona said like he knew in the back of his head, I'm pretty weird for spending this much time by myself, but I know it's going somewhere. You don't know where it's going, but you tell yourself this is gonna go somewhere. It has to, otherwise I'm a psycho, right? Is that the same kind of feeling you had?
A little bit, and like but part of you, like thrives on that solo alone time.
Yeah.
Right. And
it's growth.
And I tell Tiffany, my girlfriend right now, we've been together for 8 years. And at the beginning, I told her, I was like, look, I've got a really selfish job. Like what I do is very selfish. And I just need you to understand that. And I told her that 8 years ago. Like this part of the game is that it's just a selfish sport. It doesn't mean that I don't want to do certain things, but to be successful in this industry, there's just certain things that you have to be selfish about.
Yeah.
To succeed.
It's always a fun conversation.
Here's what it is. I'm going to sum it up for you right now. Rick Clunn said it once, and you might know this quote, Brandon. He once said that he had the ability to win every tournament that he fished, but it was not fair to the people that loved him. And he loved
100% agree. I agree with that quote 100%.
I mean, it's crazy, but if you are going to put yourself and immerse yourself into bass fishing, there is no such thing as putting 1 foot. It has to be 2 feet, no matter where you are in the industry. You got to put both feet in, or you're not going to succeed.
Yep.
It's the bottom line.
It's like doing stray cast showbiz.
Exactly.
It's exactly like that.
Exactly.
I mean, your mom's upstairs.
No, she's downstairs.
She's downstairs. Sort of meat pie, and you're downstairs making all this racket.
She's like, Pat, why are you whispering real loud? And then what is this evangelical church thing happening upstairs? I don't know.
Hey, that storm sounds pretty bad. If you need to take shelter, just crawl up under that neck beard.
Yeah.
It is raining harder than I've heard it rain.
You and Carl both rock the neck beard now. Like, who has a better neck beard, you or Carl?
Carl's got more of a neck beard. That's more
like
of a chin
way
beard.
more neck beard. Mine at least like grows up my face a little bit.
Yeah.
More Wolverine-y.
Yeah.
It's a little more Wolverine. Hey, you want to know how I know that you love bass fishing?
Please tell.
Because that 2017 Angler of the Year speech had me bawling like a baby. I ain't going to kid you. I watched it by myself and I cried. I'm not going to. I did.
Me too.
I did. And then I snuggled up and drank warm milk. Cried myself to sleep. No, I did.
Everyone thought I was crazy because I don't make notes. When I speak, I never have a speech like written out.
Okay.
It's talk of like whatever comes about. You know, I kind of have a guideline of where I want it to go or things that I want to touch on, but I never write it down. And I think that made some of my family more nervous that I was about to give a speech, but I didn't have anything written down.
Just gotta speak from the heart, man. That's the best way to do
like,
it.
just gonna tell how I got here.
Hey, it worked, dude. It worked.
That
it
was
was
really good.
awesome.
Yeah.
And here's another reason why I want to let you know that you are loved and everyone sees your love of bass fishing. When I have elite guys on the show, I often ask them, I say, who that left to go fish the Bass Pro Tour do you miss the most? And 9 times out of the 10, who are they saying? Brandon Palaniuk.
That guy.
Brandon Palaniuk. Fighter.
They don't gotta miss me anymore.
Then you're back.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Palaniuk
boy is back.
Is back. There he is. There he is. All right. You grew, or what, not 19, what, not 2019 was the growth, right?
Yep.
That was the chapter of growth. What are we calling 2020? What's this present chapter? 2020 is the time of now, the time of reckoning for Brandon Palaniuk.
Unselfishness.
Unselfish chapter. Wow. Wait a minute. We just got talking about selfishness. And
Not
now
selfish
this
anymore.
And now this chapter in 2020, all of a sudden you are not selfish anymore. Wait a minute.
I
Explain.
still am to a point.
Explain yourself,
You gotta
BMD.
give away all your waypoints.
Hold on. JP, you have something pressing, it looks like.
Hey, Brandon, you want to know what the chat board thinks the chapter's called?
The 2020 chapter?
The chapter where Tiffany gets a ring.
Oh, that's why it's unselfish. Now we get it.
They got a lot of peer pressure going on this message.
Now we
About
get
that.
it.
Dang.
This is the Bassin Galaxy.
I can't get away from it.
Hey, practice a proposal
I
to
bet.
Tiffany. Practice, like with this nice music. Practice a mock proposal. Let's. Come on. Come on, Brandon.
I'm gonna
Don't.
practice here. She's probably watching in the
Yeah,
other
don't
room.
let him talk to
It's
you
a
into
mock
that.
proposal.
That's no good.
It's a mock. It's a mockery.
I don't know. It might count.
Negative
No.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
He never writes anything. It'll be
Plus,
what
that's
he'd actually
terrible
say.
music for that.
Yeah. How about medieval music for it? We got that.
No.
All right.
You're just not
So
gonna
we're
find
calling it unselfish. Why is it
Yeah.
unselfish again? I lost myself.
So for me, it was like felt like I wanted to help elevate like Bass and some of the guys that are there, right? Because there's a
Nice.
Wow.
honestly, there's a lot of new guys,
Okay.
Yeah.
and there's a lot of really good guys, like good people and good anglers, and for me, it was like, okay, can I come back, make a positive influence on the anglers, the organization, and the fans? Those 3 things. And that's what, to me, seemed to be, like, that was what was important.
That's a big. Those are big words, though. You know that, right?
Yeah.
That's.
Can I get it?
I know it comes with a lot of responsibility, but those are
Yeah.
things that I felt like I wanted to do. Whether or not they happen, I don't know, but it's something that.
But how could you do? How are you influencing? That's what I want to know. So how do you feel you, Brandon Palaniuk, are influencing by going back to the elites after fishing the Bass Pro Tour? How are
For
you
me,
impacting?
it's, like open arms, right? So anybody, and I honestly, for me, I don't care what tour anybody fishes, because I want to grow the sport. For me, it's like I have open arms. If you have a question, ask me, and I'm going to tell you like what I think is happening, what I think is real, and what I think helps grow the sport. From a sponsorship standpoint, from a media standpoint, from a fan standpoint, like all of these things that I want this to be around forever. I think bass fishing has certain things to offer that no other professional sport has to offer.
100%.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that those things are apparent and that the rest of the world knows about them. because I think the more people that fish, the less problems we have in the world.
I'm gonna agree with you there.
100%. Let's two-part question. That was amazing, by the way. Two-part question. With there's division happening in bass fishing right now.
Yep.
Okay. Is the division more so fan opinion, more so than angler opinion? So in other words, the anglers still get along, but the fans think the anglers don't. Is there that misconception? And the other part is all of this that's happening actually growing the sport or hurting the sport?
So it's like one big giant circle. Like, and part of what I talk about of like what bass fishing has to offer more so than any sport is we may not have as large of a fan base, say as like football or basketball or something, right? Like, but the one thing that bass fishing does have over that is I feel like we have a much more hardcore fan base, a much more passionate.
Oh gosh, yeah,
fan base,
crazy freaks.
They all play the sport. That's the difference. Like
exactly.
Football,
so you have casual fans and you have hardcore fans.
Yeah.
And those hardcore fans are so passionate about what they do that it becomes personal because they do it, right? They do it on the weekends. They spend their hard-earned money on those things to do it because they love it, because it makes them happy. It puts a smile on their face. And I believe that it's truly an addiction.
Yes.
I have a camera guy that's a perfect perfect example of this.
Okay.
Right? 3 years ago, didn't know anything about bass fishing. Today, we're out filming a Sims commercial. Dude doesn't know whether to pick up the camera or the rod.
He can't decide. He's got it that bad now.
He can't put an alpha angler rod down because he's got to pick up his camera.
Bad.
Yeah, he's like Danny.
Or vice versa. I'm like, hey, we need to film some stuff. Put the spinnerbait down.
Like our intern, exactly. Yeah, we know. We know the type.
Yeah, so it creates an addiction. It's that, like, once you feel that bite, right? I talk about this all the time. Like, the amount of time that it takes to register in your brain from the tip of your fingertips through your arm to your brain that you have a bite. That split second or half second, whatever, right? It's not very long for me because I'm not very big, so it's a lot quicker for me than some people. But that moment is what creates the addiction, right?
Yeah.
That split second of where your brain has to register from your fingertips that you feel a bite and you need to do something about it. That creates the addiction.
Yeah.
And that creates that passion in fans. And I think that passion is why you see some of that division. You see the division between the hardcore guys that have been doing it one way for a long time versus the guys that are maybe somewhat more casual, that watch the sport but haven't been embedded for years and years into the same history. Because it's really not that old. It's 50 years old.
Yeah.
That's not that old. Right? Like, I went to Japan this year, and you're walking through temples that are 3,000 or 4,000 years old sometimes. 50 years is really not
ain't
that
nothing.
old.
That's as old. That's me. That's how old I am.
Like, my parents are barely 50 years
Yeah.
old. So bass fishing hasn't been around that long. So to have a group of people from all different ages, you got Clun that's in his 70s, who's just as passionate about the sport as a kid who's 8 or 9 years old that just read his first Bassmaster magazine.
That's that registration from the fingertips to the brain.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's instantaneous.
So you're saying that the people creating this division, they don't they don't get the whole fingertips to the brain thing. They might not be as in tune with that.
No, I think it's almost the opposite. I think it's almost because they are so passionate.
Oh, okay.
That when you create a change,
I gotcha.
They're so used to one thing that it creates some of that division. So you have kind of two different types of people that create that division.
So is it not as much? So I see it with the fans. I see it. There's different opinions all over, just as there is on everything. But do you see it as much with the anglers? I mean, that's your peers.
No.
You don't.
No.
I don't. I hanging out with anglers, I don't see it either.
If you're a good dude,
yeah, but
people like you. If you're not a good dude, people don't like you. Doesn't matter what side you're on.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Like when I went to MLF, I still talked to dudes on the elites, and when I went back to the elites, I still talked to guys on the Bass Pro Tour.
Right, and
doesn't matter
exactly, and
they're still my friends, and I still love them, and I still support them.
And it's because, like you said about that 2017 chapter, you just love bass fishing.
Yeah.
You just love it. That's why. That's
proper
our common.
Bassin' man.
That's right. You are a proper bassin' man, sir. And we all have that in us. So that is what will cure and conquer this division. The love in our common bond, right? Am I right?
Yeah, just takes time.
Just takes time.
Yeah.
We're all starting to understand. We're all starting.
It will all work itself out the way it's supposed to.
My granddad used to say it all works itself out in the wash, or it all comes out in the wash.
In the wash.
In the wash, yeah.
Yeah.
In the wash.
And
Hey,
of
man,
course you guys are all going to get along. I mean, you share that bond of the bite. How could you not
Exactly.
get along with that guy?
Hey, last Saturday morning, did you feel a little emotional when they called your name and Dave said, "Get out there, Prodigy"? Did you feel a little emotional?
A little bit, but when it's game time, I'm like, full.
So
Like I love everybody, but when it's tournament time, I'm ready to kick your teeth in.
There it is. I love it. Punch him
Nice.
in the throat.
Yeah.
Hey, there's two different kind of anglers. There's fish finders, and there's fish catchers. So sometimes catchers get luckier than finders, and sometimes finders get luckier than catchers.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
A little bit.
Okay, well, tell me what you think that means. There's finders and there's catchers.
So there's guys that have a very good understanding of a body of water and what's happening, and they're able to find populations of fish.
Okay.
And then you have catchers that there's some guys that just go down the bank and they know what's going on, but they don't know how to talk about it, or they don't even think about it. It's just become second
It
nature,
happens.
and they're just catchers.
Yes.
They just catch. Like if you talk to Jordan Lee and you try to explain or try to get him to explain like why he caught them, where he caught them, it won't make any sense. But he's gonna catch them,
And he knows.
Yeah.
and he knows. But to explain it, it's just so natural to him that it's hard for him to explain, because there's not really there are reasons, but they're just natural, right? It's just an instinct for him to just go do something. And a lot of that comes from time on the water. And that's the place that you want to get to. That's what I tell people all the time, is that when you are on the water, the more time you can spend on the water, if you get to a place that all of your decisions become just natural, you don't even think about them, they just become habit, that's the place that you get to, that you're able to have an open mind and make the right decisions at the right times. That's what makes you a dangerous tournament angler.
Mm-hmm.
And it's those guys that get into those places that become dangerous.
And the
They
dangerous
get in-
ones are the
get in that zone.
hybrids. They're the hybrids, the finders and the catchers. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Those are the el más peligrosos. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's.
I want to know what you mean by it.
I mean that those are the dangerous ones. No, so what? So basically, with a finder, okay, there's people that have the ability to find fish, kind of as you had stated. Maybe an offshore. Say it again.
They can read the water.
They can read the water, but that falls into catcher too. A finder might be more practiced in the art of an offshore type bite, as you said, maybe schools of fish. And that is an element, I don't care what you say too. Of course, there's that time when, preparation meets luck equals success or whatever they say, but, right, Brandon? But there is that finder luck. Okay. And then there is the guy that's just a flat out catcher. It's like no matter what. Just like when we saw Brian Thrift go to Bass Pro Tour, we knew what was going to happen. Now, he didn't win the Derb today, but,
Dude's a catcher.
Right. I mean, he's a catcher. He's a flat out catcher. And it's those now.
But to be a catcher, you got to be a finder.
That is right.
Yeah.
That is right.
I know what you're saying, though. I mean, the finder is the guy that says, if my fish bite, I'm going to whack them. And the catcher is just not going to say anything. He's just going to go catch them.
Now, who's more often to be a Bassmaster Classic champion, a finder or a catcher? And who's more likely
catcher.
A catcher is more likely to be a Bassmaster Classic champion. And a finder then would more likely be an AOY. Is that true?
Yeah, I think the catcher has a more open mind. Okay. Right, because you can find fish, but you may find fish that are not in a feeding state. And I've seen that with cameras, right? Like you can go find a giant school of fish, but that may not be where they feed, and you just don't catch them. They just don't bite. Look at a cold front in Florida.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's thousands and thousands of bass down there. But if it's cold and they don't want to bite, they just don't bite.
Terminado. Ain't happening.
You don't make them bite.
Ain't happening. And that brings me, you're leading me right into this, and I love this, by the way. But I want to talk about, the bass don't bite. Bass science. All right? We're all so smart, aren't we, Brandon? We know.
Who's we?
You, me, the Ginger Ninja, our intern Danny, Popcorn here, the entire Bass Galaxy, every bass fishing professional, everyone that fishes. We're all so damn smart, aren't we? We know lots of things, don't we? Or do we?
We know. We think we know things.
But exactly. So we know the science of bass? Like, why do we think that a bass only hits a flat side crankbait when it's cold and not a square bill? Is it because not as many people are throwing the square bills at them because we're told that the flat side is the more subtle presentation in the cold water? Or is there fact behind this?
So this is
one example.
My take. This is my take on all that.
Okay.
So we have a book, right? There's not actually a book. But let's just say, all of this knowledge, right, that we read, all of the information that's out there.
Yes.
It's a book. We have the book. We read the book. The book tells us to do this under these conditions. Well, guess what? A bass doesn't know how to read.
They don't.
Yeah.
And so we think something is supposed to happen or be happening under certain conditions, but that's not always the case. And when you take it into a tournament perspective, larger than average fish don't always follow the rule book.
They don't.
And
they do whatever the hell they want.
Brandon, is there anything in this book that you find to be exact?
No,
fishing not one thing. Area. Not one thing.
So there's nothing to be exact. There's simply guidelines.
Okay.
But they're guidelines that are very broad. And for me, and this is one thing that I really learned fishing the MLF format, knowing when everybody catches something and what they catch. There are periods of time throughout the day that fish feed. I don't know what causes it, but you can have a group of guys scattered out through an entire body of water, and it'll be absolutely dead. Nobody's catching anything, like a fish here and there, and then all of a sudden, everybody's catching fish.
The finders and the catchers.
There is something that happens in the ecosystem. I don't know if it's barometric pressure, timing, sun angle, whatever it is. There's something that happens that we can't feel that those fish feel that makes them bite. I've seen it too many times. I don't know what it is, but it happens. If you could figure that out, I don't know if it would be good or bad.
Right.
Yeah, right.
But there's what has always intrigued me about bass is that they live such a simple life, but at the same time, it is so complicated.
Or do we make it complicated?
They need cover. Well, the thing is that so as humans, we live our lives based on a time clock, right? We have a 12-month calendar. We've got 365 days. We've got 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, however you want to break it down. Our entire life is based on a scheduled, timed out system. That's how the earth moves around. A fish lives based on whatever Mother Nature throws them.
Right. They have to.
And so one of the questions I get all the time is people will send me a message on Instagram and say, hey, I'm going to this lake and I'm fishing it here. What do you think I should do? And my thought is always, nobody has a clue. Now, I can't tell you what to go do because, just for example, if someone was to ask me, how do I go catch them on Gunnersville the first week of March in 2020? I'll tell you, I have no idea. Because guess what? Nobody has fished Lake Gunnersville the first week of March in 2020.
Right.
Hasn't happened. So nobody knows how to catch them there. You might have some general guidelines and you can read that book and have an idea. But what happened 3 months ago could affect what those fish are doing in that week. Right. And so there's never a set time for fish to say it's March 3rd. I'm going to catch them on this spot.
Yeah.
Flipping a black and blue jig with my alpha angler hitter, and I'm going to go smash them. No, that doesn't happen. And a perfect example of that is I won at Bull Shoals in 2012, cranking offshore, throwing a DT16. They're all deep. The water had dropped 7 feet in 2 weeks. Read the conditions perfect that week, and I happened to catch them really good. I go back. I spend my whole first day of practice cranking offshore, trying to catch fish. And we're there literally the next year, 2013, the third week of April. Can't catch a fish offshore. Water's cleaner. Water's warmer. I find those same group of fish, and they're all getting ready to spawn. They're schooled up in the backs of pockets.
You're getting us excited, man.
Yeah.
And it's literally the exact same week, just the next year. But because Mother Nature threw those fish different conditions, they just transition into what they're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
They spawn when the conditions get right, and it happened to get right earlier. And I think that's one thing that's always intrigued me about this sport is that there's not a black and white of as far as a time frame of you have to do this at this time. There's guidelines,
yeah.
but
But
you can only
none
conclude,
of it makes sense, honestly.
You can only conclude that what's going on under the water is absolute chaos. Because could you imagine if we as humans only wanted to eat when the wind was blowing? You wouldn't be able to get into a restaurant.
We'd have a lot less obese people.
Yeah, those buffets would be shut down.
Except for in Chicago, everybody in Chicago would just be like,
oh, yeah. Chicago and Seattle.
because it blows all the time. Right?
It's all bears. You're saying everybody in Chicago is fat?
No, I'm saying they're not.
Oh.
It is considered the windy city.
Yes,
so
there you
if only fed on wind, it'd be the fattest city in the country.
Yes, exactly. Now we get it.
That would
JP
point
was offended.
Either way. Either way.
You should have seen JP's face back there, Brandon.
In a pizza city, you wouldn't have been far off.
Yeah, it's pretty damn close. But the science is crazy, man. I think there's guidelines. I agree with you 100%. I think they came from professional anglers making stuff up that worked for them. But it's great because I've caught many fish on it over the years, and it's awesome. I mean, it's just the way things are. And I can live with it. I can live with it. The catcher and the fisher prevails. What's going on, Danny Moe?
Oh, I just want to say something.
Oh, okay. Dickie Moe, have you ever met our intern, Danny?
I've never met him, but I do know of.
Okay, well, this is he does the college cuts, actually. You sent us a message about the college cuts.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, Brandon, I just want to say you grew up in possibly the coolest place in the United States of America, like Coeur d'Alene area. I went there on vacation when I was like 12, and there was some gentleman at the end of the dock by the resort that's where I learned how to drop shot. There was a dude who caught 2 smallmouth. He wasn't using an actual way to use like a split sinker, and that's where I learned how to drop shot when I was like 12 years old at Lake Coeur d'Alene, so just wanted to throw that in there.
Nice.
Yep. That was my 2-piece.
That's some cool info right there.
Well, that's an example, right, Brandon, of what...
What was that? Was that like 2016?
No, I was 12 and now I'm 22, so that was about 10 years ago. Yeah.
He got you. That's Dickie Moe. Brian the Carpenter from Mike Live named him Dickie Moe. I think that's
Dickie Moe.
Yeah, that's
I have been coined Dickie Moe. Don't mind it.
He wore a Dickie once.
Yeah, cool nickname.
Hey, let's talk alpha. Let's talk alpha, man. Let's play a game. We play a game. You might have played this with us before. It's called 3 on Deck, 1 in Hand, and it's actually a new rule that Trip Weldon and I are working on implementing. And
okay.
I hope you're okay with this, but. Ginge, what do you want to do? You want to do a 70s? What are we going to do? Let's do a game show style. Your choice. What do we want to do? Yes, it's time for the Alpha Angler Edition 3 on Deck, 1 in Hand with Brandon Palaniuk, the prodigy of bass fishing. So, Brandon, what the deal is you are only allowed for the remainder of the Bassmaster Elite Series Tour to bring 4 rods with you to each event. 4 Alpha Angler rods. 3 on deck, 1 in hand. 4 rods and reels, 4 baits. Go.
Can I gotta ask a question. Can I swap them out in hand?
Well,
I get to pick 4.
4 that stay in your box all year. They're on the deck.
Oh,
4 on the deck. That's all you get. You can't swap per event.
Alpha Angler Zilla. Alpha Angler Hitter. Rebound. And a DSR.
Over the wrench. The DSR over the wrench.
I'm going to pick the DSR over the wrench.
Why'd you pick those choices, and what are some baits you're throwing on them?
So the Zilla is going to do a little bit of everything. Pretty much. So I'll put like a Steez A 7.1 to 1 on the Zilla and the Rebound. And I'm going to put a Daiwa Tatula Elite PF on my hitter.
Okay.
The Zilla is going to have swim jigs, football jigs, big worms, frogs, pretty much whatever you want to put
whatever
on.
The hell. Zilla does whatever the hell you want.
It does whatever it wants.
Yes, there you go. I like that. Yes.
And the hitter, that's going to be, heavier offshore game or flipping, pitching kind of stuff. Got to have a hitter. The Rebound, I can use that for cranking, square bills, medium divers, chatterbaits.
Chatter chicken.
To.
Yes, sir.
It's just good for everything. just moving stuff. It's just rebound's a special rod.
Yes, it is.
And the DSR, very rarely do I not have a drop shot tied on. And so you gotta have the drop shot rod.
Is the DSR still the rod that you have won the most money on in your career? Or is it now the Zilla?
It is probably the DSR.
The DSR.
It's probably still the DSR. Like, it is probably accounted for more fish. A DSR, a Zilla, and a Rebound are probably like the 3 most money-making rods.
They're right there. They're right there. So again, we're pretty fortunate to be part of the Alpha Angler team, and I've been a custom rod freak for years. You know that. Jake knows it. Old Steve over there knows it. Everybody knows I'm a custom rod freak. Now, one of the coolest things, and you and I, before even Alpha became a thing, like you and I have had discussions about custom rods. You know, we talked about the old S glasses and all that kind of great stuff before Alpha even happened. And then when Alpha came to fruition, and they were actually taking time and wait, there's the Jeopardy. They were taking time and paying attention to detail in designing blanks. Now, that sounds so like everybody does it, but they don't. Like everyone says they do it, but they don't. That's what I'm trying to convey.
The biggest difference is a lot of companies say, okay, we're going to come out with this line. We're going to call it this, and it's going to be $119 price point, $120. Then they come out with, okay, we're going to have 11 rods under this name in this lineup for $111.
The new Zabadu for $119.99.
Whatever it is.
Okay.
Right. You have that. Well, then you have Alpha Angler that says, we're going to build this rod absolutely the best way we know how possible with the best components for what we want it to accomplish, right? And a lot of our rods come out for a specific technique, and then they never stay that specific technique.
Exactly.
Right.
Like I've never thrown a chatterbait with a chatterbound. No offense or disrespect intended.
Yes, like you throw a chatterbait on a chatterbound. I was throwing a spinnerbait on it.
So
today.
was I. That's what I do.
I throw medium diving crankbaits on it a bunch. Okay. Like the Zilla was originally designed as a frog rod. I throw all kinds of stuff on it, right? Like
it's a swim jig rod too.
Swim jig.
It's a swing head rod.
Frogs, football jigs. I won Rayburn throwing a big 10-inch worm on it. Like the rods have a specific design, but we're not constrained by certain components and things. Like we just put on whatever makes it perform the best, right? It's
right. You're not meeting the price point.
It says it on your dang sweatshirt. Custom performance rods.
It's the truth.
Performance, right? We're building rods for tournament fishermen.
Yeah.
And what I've always felt like is you can build the best $100 rod. You can't build the best rod for $100.
Exactly.
And so that was kind of our big thing, right? It's like, hey, we want to build the best rods, but then we want to make them affordable. And so that's why we're direct to consumer.
Right.
Because it makes them affordable it's a lower price point for what you're getting. So more bang for your buck.
Exactly. Otherwise, it would almost be twice the price that you're paying for the rods. I want to go back to the Rebound and the Chatterbound. I know before you were with Alpha, you were with a different rod and reel company, and they really, and I know their products, and they really didn't offer a true glass or composite rod at the time that you were with them. And my question to you is, was Alpha Angler kind of your first experience with glass and composite? Or were you familiar?
Yes and no. So a lot of the early original S-Class stuff from Alpha was like old school Seeker stuff.
Correct. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is like the originator
That
of
I've been cranking with those for 20 years.
Yes.
You know.
So that like a lot of that was the old school stuff. Now we have our own stuff that is lighter, more sensitive, I feel like. But that was like the first stuff that I felt, right? Was like a lot of those old Seeker blanks. And now the guy that builds a lot of the guy that actually like rolls the glass for us, I feel like is the best at that.
Nice.
Because that's not easy. It's not easy to roll a glass rod and make sure that it's straight and consistent.
Dude, I remember getting Seekers
where
the tip was like that.
Yeah.
You'd set them up
And
against the
it
wall
worked.
for a year hoping to get right.
Yes, 100%.
But here's the thing that I'm getting at is I want to convey to people, and I hate to use the term magic, but there is a certain magic to a glass or a composite rod. If you have not cranked or thrown a moving bait on that type of rod, you don't know what I'm talking about. Andrew Ellenberger, the Ginger Ninja, our producer, Ryan Whitaker, JP High never experienced a composite or a glass rod until the rebound. And
Changed their lives.
Changed their lives.
Dude, it was
Thank
so
you.
insane when I first threw that thing and first.
But it
boned
has to be
up.
the right one.
Yeah. Right.
And I mean, that's the truth. Like, just picking up any glass rod is not the same as picking up a rebound.
Yeah, no,
You're
no,
right.
no,
A
no.
lot of glass rods feel very better. Like, a rebound is not those things, right? Like, it's still very sensitive. It's light. It's balanced.
Yeah.
So you have to pick up the right glass rod. You have to build it correctly.
And I'm gonna make a statement here that is a true story that I did not just make up. A lot of glass rods that you buy on the market are the same glass that is used in like industrial weed whippers that will
E glass versus S glass.
Yeah, well, so I mean, those are a lot of the glass. That's what people associate glass with: heavy, cumbersome, ridiculous fishing rods. But the new evolution, all I'm saying is if you have not had a chance to crank with especially an Alpha Angler composite rod, do it, because it's going to change your life.
To steal a quote from the movie Superbad, the first time I bowed up on a good fish on a rebound, it was like the first time I heard the Beatles. It was magical. I mean, I'll remember that fish. Honestly, like I've forgotten a lot of fish catches over the years, but I'll remember that first catch on that rod for the rest of my life. And that's weird at this point of my fishing. You know? That's really
His
weird.
rebound experience.
It was not a giant fish, but it was good enough to feel it, and I'm like, this is right. This is absolutely right. That was my thought.
Perfect.
Speaking
awesome,
of right,
yeah.
let's talk about my love life. What do you think?
Oh gosh,
Andy?
I thought that was on.
Yeah,
the
how's your
notes.
love life, Pat?
Let's talk about. Let's get some questions.
Everyone's dying to know.
Let's talk love life let's talk about Brandon's love
I
life.
asked you what you wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you said you wanted to talk about my love life, Brandon.
That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
You must have misheard me. I don't know.
So Brandon, these are love life questions. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Okay.
Brandon, I want you to give me an adjective that describes both your first sexual experience as well as the day after winning the 2017 Angler of the Year. Give me an adjective. You asked for it. Don't ever give me off limits, sir.
Relieved.
Release.
No, relieved.
Oh,
Not
relieved.
released.
Oh,
Relieved.
okay, relieved.
Release.
A release of relief?
It could go either way.
Oh gosh.
Okay, gotcha. Did you ever have a psychopathic girlfriend? Before Tiff.
Not really.
You ever have a girl you wish you didn't dated? You wish you
No,
didn't?
I don't
You
think
wish you
so.
didn't.
No regrets?
No.
No? None of that.
No
Like,
regrets.
you saw her at the
Thanks.
mall and you were turned the other way? None of them?
No, I'm pretty safe on those.
Okay.
Good for you.
So I guess that's not MLF for
Lucky.
you. Got you. All right. Good. You did good there.
Mhm.
Hey, this is These next questions are about finesse dating. Finesse dating. All right? Do you prefer in finesse dating the long pause or the erratic action? The long pause or the erratic action in finesse dating?
Cold water dating.
Cold water dating, yes. Shrinkage.
I'm going to go for the reaction bite. I'm going to go for the erratic.
The erratic action.
It's got the erratic action.
Circular motion.
Good.
With the alphabet. Spelling coconut. There it is. Brandon, is it, in finesse dating, is it how deep you fish or how you wiggle the worm?
Oh, it's all about the wiggle.
It's all about the wiggle and the erratic motion. Good. There we go. That's
reaction.
depth matters.
You gotta get the reaction. That's what produces.
Nice. There it is. That's Brandon's love life questions, especially because he said don't ask about something. So I asked. Sorry, Brandon.
I said don't ask about past love life.
But you don't want to know.
Oh,
believe me,
okay.
you can't handle my love life. Tell you. That's coming out in chapter 19. Let me tell you. Well, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Everybody drink.
So, like, if you could go on a vacation with the Stray Cast crew, where would you go?
El Salto.
El Salto. I think
Okay.
we have cantina music.
You're a bunch of fish heads.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Ah, yes. Welcome to the El Salto Cantina with Senor Brandon Palaniuk. Some more questions for you, Senor.
Okay.
Venmo. They're your sponsor? No?
Kinda. Yeah, we're not sure.
So every time I use Venmo, you get money, no?
I wish.
Brandon.
That'd be great.
At what age did you go, holy shit, I'm a pro angler?
I was 23. I qualified when I was 22. I was 23 when I finished the Classic.
Okay, now you're starting to speak Spanish too. I like it.
Yeah, I just follow along.
Como se dice, estoy el bianco, le trapla el zapatos, el trabajando, el Brandon Palaniuk.
No, you're confused. I don't actually speak Spanish.
Oh,
I just
sorry.
can have the accent.
Brandon, how often do you feel overwhelmed with your job?
Rarely.
Barely.
Rarely, yes.
Okay.
Very rarely.
Rarely. Is it rarely and barely? I'm with you. Good answer.
Fairly rarely.
Good answer, because I know you got a workload, bro. You got a workload. Hey, if you had a son or a daughter, would you want them to be a professional bass fisher?
If that's what they wanted to do.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. It's an easy life, but it's not an easy life.
It's not,
It's
but
a
if you love
selfish
it,
life.
you love it, and you can't live or die with, you can't breathe without it. So, if that's what they want to do, then I support it.
Hey, let's get out of Mexico and go somewhere else. Where do you want to go now?
I don't know. You tell me.
Let's go.
Actually, I'll tell you where I want to go.
Okay, where?
I want to go to the bathroom because I gotta take a pee break.
Oh, you want to go for a second?
I gotta take a pee break.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll entertain. You
Can
go
I
to
go?
the bathroom
I want to go too.
and come back.
Whitaker's got to go too. Okay,
I
I'll
gotta go
take
too.
a pee break. I'll
You
be
want-
back soon.
Hey, can we take a quick commercial break? No. Okay. Ginger says no. You go to the bathroom.
We could just talk.
Quick.
Yeah, you go to the bathroom.
Hey,
All right. Brandon's going
I'm
to.
serious.
You got to go too. All right.
We're full of nonsense.
Okay, so here's what I want to tell you. Remind everybody, if you're just tuning in, like and share the live Facebook feed. You get a chance to win $50 worth of line and lure stuff. But here's the deal that I really want to let you know. Now is the time to load up the chat board because you're going to get a chance to play along on this 20 questions with Brandon Palaniuk. So load up the questions on the chat board. You too, Tom Monahan. Load them up. Get it. Ask the questions. Why did they say who's Tom Monahan?
Yeah, I was interacting with him on the chat board, and I was like, "Hey, Monahan almost sounds like Mohan. Do we just become friends?" And he didn't answer. So
Why did they like? Why did that pop up? Who's Tom Monahan?
It's similar last name. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I think he's the alpha dude, correct?
Anywhere there's water, you know he'll be there. But here's what you got to do, right? Put your questions in for Brandon. Boom. As soon as he gets done peeing, he's gonna answer. What are you saying, Ginge?
I got a 30-second break. Go ahead.
Oh, you got a 30-second break.
Mm-hmm.
So I can go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, we'll be right back after this 30 seconds. See how we did that?
I'm back.
Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to resume your Saturday matinee with your featured guest, Brandon Palaniuk. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I can talk for hours now.
You feel good now. Nice. All right, where are we going? Where are we going with this? Where you want to go? Where are we going on vacation?
We can go around the world now.
Let's go around. Give me some round the world music, Ginge. What do we got?
Whee!
What do we got?
Right.
Yeah, man. Everybody talking about Brandon Palaniuk, man. Brandon, man. You wild dude. You ever been stalked by a fan? You ever been stalked, man?
Partially.
Talk to me about stalking.
Nah, we're not going to go into
Un
stuff.
poquito. Just a
It
little.
just gets weird.
That's the point.
Is everybody okay?
Yeah, everyone's okay. I've just had, but people just, randomly show up at gas stations and stuff. I learned to be careful about posting where you're at all the time.
And are these men or women?
Both.
You're one of the few professional bass fishermen that actually have female stalkers. Most of them are
the age.
Most of them are old males with breasts.
It's usually 50-year-old dudes with beards.
Yeah, overalls and no shirts.
You know the deal.
Yeah.
You know the deal. Hey, now that we're feeling happy, joyous, and free, and in the islands, man.
We're moving again.
Oh, we're moving? Where are we going now?
It's Mardi Gras season.
Oh, the Mardi Gras.
Oh.
Hell yeah, Zydeco. Titties and dragons. That's what I like. That's what we're talking about. Hey, what's the a day in the life? Like a Brandon Palaniuk. Not a tournament day, but you get up. What time does Brandon Palaniuk's biological clock wake him up?
I'm usually more of an early person.
Give me a time.
I'll get
when
there.
you rise, bro.
I'm 5:30ish a.m.ish.
Okay, me too.
5:30,
I'm right
6
there. I'm right there with you. And then, what's your routine? Do you have a thing that you do immediately in the morning? Besides go to the bathroom.
That would have been my first choice.
Yeah.
I'm a get up, eat breakfast guy.
Okay.
I get up, cook some eggs, and have breakfast, drink a cup of coffee. I do that quite often, whether it's just at home, tournament days in the RV.
So you're fueling up right away. You get up and you fuel up.
Generally, yes.
Okay. And then what's a typical off day? Is that, and I'm going to assume that it's spent going through 5 gazillion hours of video.
Yeah, what's an off day?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, in other words, a day that you're not in a tournament or preparing for a tournament is not an off day, but a day of work.
Yeah, generally it
What is it?
involves some sort of either media content or emails, getting caught up on the business side of fishing. And sometimes it's just fishing, right? Just spending time on the water. But a lot of times it's if it's not a tournament week, it's getting caught up on business from that tournament week.
Well, I gotta put it into perspective here because you said that there is no off day, and I had a couple things I wrote down here. I want to go over this to put it into perspective. In today's society, this can indicate how busy you are, and you'll see where I'm going. You have 35,000 subscribers on YouTube. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you have 180,000 subscribers on Instagram or followers on Instagram and 150,000 followers on Facebook. Now, Brandon Palaniuk is one of the, I can't say one of the few, he's one of the first ones that actually did this on his own. And years ago, I used to kid him that he was like the Miley Cyrus of Instagram in bass fishing. But you answer all of your messages, direct messages in due time, answer to comments, like and comment. That's you, Brandon. That's actually you. You do it in time, but you do it.
Yeah.
That's
it
a
is
lot.
me, and I try to get back to everybody. I don't always get back to everybody, but I try to at least acknowledge that somebody commented on my stuff, right? Because somebody took their time out of their day to follow and to engage with my content. So I try to do the same.
That's awesome.
In the midst of everything else.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest and candid here. Like, at times it causes stress on my relationships, whether it's with Tiff or my family, right? Like, because it takes time to be on the phone.
Yeah.
Dude, I see you at the weigh-in at the Bassmaster Classic.
Hours. But to me, it's important because I put myself on the other side of the screen.
Yes.
And it wasn't that long ago that I was the guy on the other side of the screen that, sometimes just getting a little piece of knowledge or even just getting that acknowledgement means something, right? It makes you feel something, and I try to do that and give that back.
Because we're all doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
We're all doing that. You're putting a post up for the same reason that Jerry in Oklahoma is putting a post up, okay? You're putting their post up for the same reason that Stray Cass is putting a post up. It's because we are all in this for the love of the sport, or we should be in it for the love of the sport. And I love how guys like you and Fighter are owning your social media. You're commenting, you're liking, you're sharing, you're doing that stuff. Because we're all in this together. And I said it before. I think Dudley was the first guy to say it. David Dudley was the first guy to say it on this show a couple weeks ago. I don't care who you are or what you are. If you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, unless the post is completely douchey, give it a like. Tap it and like it or subscribe. Why not? We're all in it for the same thing.
The connection.
Thank you. It's the connection.
It's the connection.
Yeah, that's it, man. But no, it's great. I admire how you do that, Brandon. I mean that sincerely. There
You
it
always
is
say
again.
that one.
That's my word.
Sincerely.
Yes, totally sincerely. That I admire how you do that with your social media.
Thank you. I do enjoy it.
Well, that being said, there was a lot of social media rumors flying. You did a show with Mark Zona, and everybody right away. Brandon's going back to the elites. He's fishing with Zona. Things going on with Zona.
Yep.
And, okay, you guys are just friends. You've been friends with the Zona family forever.
Yeah, that at the time that we filmed that show was not, that wasn't even in the process.
So you didn't know at that time?
No. Okay. Not even close.
Okay. Well,
I was still a Bass Pro Tour angler filming a show with Zona that is not part of the Elite Series.
But you said it's a gradual process.
Yeah.
So
it's gradual, but that's on me. That's personal. That has nothing to do with Zona's show.
No, I understand that, but that's the question that I'm asking is, it especially had to weigh on you.
It was on my mind since
That's what I'm
March.
asking. Okay.
It was on my mind since March of 2019 when I walked off the Classic stage.
Okay.
So, I can't say that thought process wasn't there, or it wasn't a thought in the back of my mind. But at the time that we filmed that show, there was never anything that was like, "Oh, hey, you coming back?" We never even talked about.
And
hey,
I am
you
not
come back
implying
to Bass.
I am not implying that whatsoever that Zona was trying to recruit you or Bass or anything. Not implying that whatsoever. Just curious that your mind frame at that point in your life where you were.
Yeah, and it was me filming a show with him was like, I'm gonna go have a ton of fun with my buddy on my favorite body of water. And we're gonna film it in the process. It had nothing to do with who fishes where or anything. it's my favorite body of water, and I have an invite to go fish it, and I
I'll-
don't have anything else scheduled.
With Zona, and I'm going.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't have to be talking into that one.
Then not too much arm twisting going on there.
No.
Hey, what is Anglerade? Tell us what Anglerade is.
Anglerade. So I'm gonna tell you what Anglerade started out as and what it is now.
Okay, please do.
So Anglerade started out as a like a spray solution that I used for a long time, and then we created it into Anglerade. It was something else before, and then we created it into Anglerade, so it's specific for anglers, and it's to help with like the minor cuts and irritations that we get on our hands, whether it's from like bass thumb, fin spikes when you're digging around in the live well,
Sure.
hook points, like. I mean, our hands, like, our skin and our bodies are exposed to the elements. You know, even sunburns, like, it works really good on sunburns if I forget my sun gator. So it started out as just a spray to help with that stuff, right? I mean, if you look, I don't know how many people watching the show right now saw it when I sliced my hand wide open.
Yeah.
But
Sure did.
I'm going to show you right now. That is the scar. You can't really see it, but right there is where I sliced my hand open. And literally the only thing, I mean, I got stitches, but the only thing I put on it was Anglerade and a Band-Aid. And it's nearly non-existent.
It's awesome.
On my hand.
Wow.
It's actually pretty crazy how it works, but it heals your cuts and sunburns, abrasions, bug bites, all of that stuff.
I thought it was a unique product.
What was that?
A very unique product, I thought.
It is, and it's been around for a long time. So like, the main active ingredient is hypochlorous acid. It's been around for a long time, since like World War II.
Don't take the brown one.
But but the big thing is that we've been able to build the shelf life out.
Okay.
Before, like a long time ago, it was only good for a couple days.
Interesting.
Now we've built that shelf life out so that it's good for a long time. Longer than you'll go through it way before it goes bad.
So you keep that thing in the boat and it ain't going bad.
No, like you'll use it way before then. I mean, and for me, like I have it all over my house, my RV, and my trucks. Like I just spray it on all the time. And now we've kind of transitioned it into an angler first aid essentials company. So like we created the Anglerade Essentials box, which has not only just the Anglerade spray, but it has like a multi-tool. It has fuses. It has electrical tape. Like it has bandages. It has all like a box.
Tasers for stalking fans.
Yeah, not tasers.
But stuff.
Tasers were a little expensive. We wanted to put some tasers and things like that in there.
Mini
They were a
hacksaw.
little expensive, you know. Really jacked the price up. But a box that you can buy and put in your boat and have a little bit of everything for something that can go wrong.
Nice.
Right? And
I like it. Yeah.
like I may not use it for a couple months, and then I use it twice in 1 week. Right? Like I had it the week that I cut my hand open. I blew a fuse in my boat. I used a fuse out of the Anglerade box that I had. And then I sliced my hand wide open. And I bandaged it up and threw a rubber glove on my hand and went to the ER.
So the Anglerade box is kind of like the junk drawer in the kitchen. It's got a little bit of everything in it.
Yeah.
It is.
Or in the
It
workshop.
is. And we have it available now. We're building it better. So we'll have another one coming out soon, but it's just slowly evolving into like more and more. And like on the website, we've got like all of the, boating laws and different things for each state and fishing regulations. And so we're trying to make it a place that anglers can go and get information about things that maybe aren't just technique, like fishing how to go catch fish, but other things that matter within the fishing, boating industry.
Nice. It's a great concept, and I wish you the best of luck with it. I think it's pretty cool. Hey, let's start. What do you guys say we take some questions from the viewers? Are you cool with that, Brandon?
Please.
Now, where should we go? Where do you want to go on vacation with the viewers? If we're going to take some viewer questions, where are we going?
How's your Italian accent?
Yeah. Well, we have an Italian restaurant, but you need to answer in Italian. I don't ask the questions; it's the fans.
Oh, maybe we should go Australian then, since I've been hanging out with the Aussie.
Okay, well, this could also...
You know what I'm talking about, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty good.
Exactly, mate.
Shrimp on the barbie.
Except they don't really do that there.
You're way better than I am at it, but we're going to go to Australia. We're at a little wallaroo in Australia. You know what a wallaroo is?
I do not know what a wallaroo
is. It's a muscular kangaroo. Ask Carl.
A wallaroo?
Yeah, Carl hits him with his truck. And Carl bench presses them. That's how he gets all cut. They're little muscular things. Kangaroos. Wallaroos.
Thought
but
maybe
anyway,
they'd be on a walkabout.
Let's go to some Australian questions since you're in Carl's garage from our viewers. What do we have, JP High? What's going on? What's her name? Who's asking questions?
All right, we got Renee wants to know, Brandon, can you give an example how to build mental toughness on the water?
Ooh.
Australian toughness.
That's a good one, eh? It's a good one, eh, mate? Well, Renee, the big thing is that I learned a lot of this from when I was a wee lad.
Now he's Irish. I love this.
Oh, he's going Irish.
Now I love that you're Irish. Slop in the bush.
Yeah, sometimes I get confused.
Slop in the bush.
When I was just a young mate, in my wrestling days, I learned a lot of my mental toughness. And I think the thing is that you can't get confused with expectations. For me, everybody has the same book. It just depends on how you want to write it. And the mental toughness for me is making the most of the situation and kind of understanding what's available and using that to your advantage. And that's where the mental toughness comes from, right? Is like controlling the things that you can control, not the things that you can't. Can't control the weather. I can control that I've got fresh line, the right rods, right tackle, all of that.
Builds confidence, builds mental toughness.
Mm-hmm.
Confidence builds mental toughness.
You could dance with who brung you.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. All right, now where we want to go?
Very good.
Let's go somewhere else. Do we got outer space? Let's go to outer space. Do
What
we
does
have
outer
that?
space sound like?
Do we have any kind of outer? All right, what do we got? Outer space question for Brandon Palaniuk.
This is from Randy.
Randy.
He wants to know, how do you think you would do without your electronics?
Do you not say people's last names because you can't pronounce them, or
they go when the questions come in, they fly.
Oh, I
through.
see. So you're just chatting. Okay, that's fine. I was just curious. Randy, sorry, what's the question?
How would you do without your electronics?
For me, it would depend on the time of year how I would do without my electronics. I'm such a firm believer in Humminbird 360 that when I get in a boat that doesn't have it, I feel like I don't know where to cast. It doesn't mean that I don't know what to cast, but I'm such a believer in what it provides that I feel like I'm that much more efficient on where I need to cast, how I understand how the body of the water lays out, and I actually think it helps me pattern the fish quicker.
Wow.
So I can still catch them, but I don't think I would catch them as well as I do.
And it'll hurt with the mental toughness because of the confidence that you build up in the 360.
Yeah.
See.
The eagle has landed.
There it is.
Yeah. All right, what else we got, JP?
All right, Jerry King wants to know.
Jerry King.
Do you want bass to return to California? And if you do, what lake?
I would love bass to have a western swing every single year.
Western. Hear that, Pilgrim?
I would love to fish Clear Lake. I haven't got to fish that lake a bunch.
Giddy up.
Yes, sir.
Delta's awesome. And I think anytime we can go to the Delta and help out with like the political stuff they have going on there with the waterways and pumping water out, that always helps, right? Like showing what that fishery has to offer. So,
Reckon you're speaking some fine
All right,
truth there.
this is kind of California related. Holly wants to know, what's your personal best and what lake did it come on?
so I caught a 12-4 largemouth on Lake Austin in Texas. That was kind of at the end of when the grass started to disappear. I don't think it's nearly as good now as it used to be. And then personal best smallmouth is 7 3/4. I caught that in Idaho.
Nice.
Not too shabs.
Biggins.
So we got Jigs McThump watching.
Oh, yeah, we like Jigs McThump.
Jig McThumps.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Exactly. He wants to know, what's your favorite little rascal?
Alfalfa, or is it Spanky?
I would. Well, I mean, I like alfalfa. Spanky's kind of got that little bit of mischievousness to him, though, that I kind of like.
Does. Stymie.
Well, we're member of the alfalfa army, so we're alfalfa anglers. So we have to like
that's true.
alfalfa.
That's a great point, Pat.
We're alfalfa anglers. We use
Alfalfa
alfalfa rods. So, hey, I want to ask you something. This is something that I'm kind of I shouldn't say struggling with, but learning how to deal with. So,
Okay.
All right, now basically, you know that I'm basically
Could
just
be a lot of things.
Yeah. So I don't know. I took the pills and they didn't work, and I still keep twitching all the time. But no, this is what I want to ask you. In all seriousness, you know that, you know, I'm just a bass fishing freak. I'm a long-haired bass fisherman that happened to do this this talk show here, and things are going pretty well for us. We're pretty fortunate, right? And things are going in a good direction. We even got an intern now, for crying out loud, Brandon. Okay? Yeah. How's
Poor
it happen?
kid.
How's it exactly?
Took some convincing to get him in here, but he's here.
He's here. Hey, but so what I want to ask you is, I know that you have to change sponsors sometimes. Okay? Now be 100% honest with me. Please help me. Give me guidance. So you get certain confidence in certain baits, and then you get a sponsorship. And you feel in your now you've taken the sponsorship because you feel in your heart you love the products, and you do have some intimacy with the products, but there's that confidence and that mental toughness aspect. Let's take soft plastics. You've had to change soft plastics a couple times, 3 times recently. You build confidence in this soft plastic. And then the new soft plastic comes along, and you build confidence in that. And then the new soft plastic, and I'm just using this in as example. It could be a hard bait. It could be anything. But how do you, as an angler, as a professional angler, overcome that? Do you know what I'm saying? Is this making sense?
So for me, a lot of that transition comes from me personally.
Okay.
And a lot of it is people, product, and my involvement within the company. Now, I've been with 3 soft plastic companies. We'll just use the soft plastics as an example. All 3 of them have made phenomenal products, and I've really enjoyed the people that I've worked with. But as I've went through like different stages in my career, those changes, like certain things within those, have become important. So like now where I'm with X Zone, I have a ton of involvement with the company, and I love that. And the product is awesome. And I've always believed that, like, as I transition through different stages of my career, different things take over different importance. Right? Like, I've always believed that those 3 things that I mentioned were important, but sometimes one becomes more important than the other. And so, like, for me, involvement with X Zone became very important, of like knowing what's going on with the company, helping design baits, and having those people that I enjoy working with. And I've enjoyed working with everybody I haven't worked with. I won't sign a deal unless I think I can sit on the couch and hang out with the people that I have to work with.
Awesome. Okay.
It's not worth it to me. So anybody that's watching this that has questions about sponsorships, do not sign a deal for the money. I am 100% serious about that.
Don't do it.
Now, I get there are times in a person's career you need the money and you need to take a deal. I get that. That's fine. But if you can make it through and just do deals that you enjoy working with the people the most and the products you believe in the most, the money will come. And
Excellent.
I've always been a firm believer in that, but it's the number one thing that people have to remember is that fishing is fun.
Yeah.
And the quickest way to make it not fun is make it a job. And the way that you make it a job is by doing things that you may not agree with or that make it feel like a job.
Exactly.
And that's why I think that if you work with people that you enjoy being with, if you go on podcasts like this that you enjoy being on, it doesn't feel like a job.
Exactly. Thank you.
Like, you're just hanging out with your buddies and you're talking. And is it an important part of your job? Yes. Is it beneficial? Yes. Does it feel like a job? No, because I feel like I'm just talking with my buddies.
Awesome.
And so
That's great.
all of that is beneficial, right? Because I get enjoyment from it, but then it's also good from the business side because you get exposure from it. And that's just the truth of it.
Sure.
And so, and that carries on to sponsorships, right? Like I want someone that I can grab my phone and text and be like, hey, I have this idea. What do you think about this? And then you'd be like, oh no, that's stupid.
That sucks or it's
yes,
great.
That's awesome. But I want someone to be open and honest with me. And I want to be able to be open and honest with them and be like, oh, hey, this new product you guys came out with, yeah, that sucks. We need to change this. And they take that constructive criticism.
Not because there's already a run of 65,000 baits made.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and so all of those things become important, right? And that's where I talk about like the involvement. Right?
I get it. And I like how you're going. I like how when you're giving answers tonight, Brandon, I mean this, that you kind of start us here and bring us to the question, if that makes sense to you. You might not realize you're doing it, but I like how you're doing that. And the fact of the matter is you did make me feel confident in some of the changes that I'm making in my life because I've acquired some new sponsors. Well, actually old sponsors and new products that fall into other lines. And I have confidence in other products, but I know that these new products are quality products too. And all it takes is just catching fish on the products, right? Yeah. That's all it takes, too.
Yeah, a bunch of time. Yeah.
You get out there, you believe in that product, and you catch some fish on it. The rest is history, just like you said with X Zone. And that's pretty neat that you actually get to be involved with the making of an entire line of baits, basically from this level up. You know,
Heck yeah.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
It's been a lot of fun. It's like a daily conversation.
Hey, I got one more question for you, Brandon, and I think we're gonna wrap it up here. But, are you upset that there's the 50th Bassmaster Classic going on here in a couple 3 weeks, and you're not fishing it, and you probably would be? Are you upset?
Was I upset? Yes. Am I now? No.
How'd you get over it? What happened?
So, for me, it was a decision that I had made. That's on me. That's not on anybody else.
Okay.
and I'm willing to own that. And so for me is, would I prefer to be fishing it? Yes.
Of course you would.
I think everybody that goes to that event would prefer to be fishing
and
rather
not
than
working the
just being
show.
there.
Yeah. But I get it.
But
Man.
at the same time, in the 10 years I've been fishing professionally, so I've fished 9 classics. This will be the first one that I've seen it from the other side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, you gain perspective.
Okay.
And perspective is knowledge, and it helps you understand and become better at certain things. And so for me, I've really embraced this year to say, okay, this is the year that I get to hang out with the fans. I get to hang out with my sponsors. I get to spend a week seeing the other side of the classic that I have never seen, because I had never been to a classic until I fished one.
Right.
So this year I get to see it. I get to understand it. So in 2021, when I do fish it, I plan on fishing it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I have perspective from both sides.
I love it. I love it.
And
that
while
makes you more knowledgeable, that makes you more dangerous, and that makes you better at your job.
Yes.
right.
Yes.
And while this positive attitude about it is good and everything, and I think that's healthy, I really think maybe you should find a little anger in it, because we talked about your past experiences with bad things happening and what happens after. So maybe
that might happen once he gets to
maybe,
the classic.
Maybe give
expo.
into it a little bit.
Once he's in the expo.
How do you think I finished
Well,
15th in Florida?
All right. All right. I read you.
I'm loving it, man.
Channel that energy.
It's the growth chapter, Ryan. It's the growth chapter. We know. Brandon, dude, I want to say that I mean this with all of my heart. This is the best time I have ever had with you on the Stray Cast Show. I
would ditto that.
I mean
awesome.
that.
Thanks.
I mean that, dude, and I admire how your career has grown in the short time, the 9 years that you've been at this. I remember when you were just a little bass fisherman sitting next to Pete Glusick at the dinner table in Chicago, talking at Bass University for the first time, and
Yep.
and it's come all the way to this, dude. I want the entire Bass Galaxy to please give it up for Bassmaster Elite Series angler Brendan Palaniuk.
You're all grown up.
You're all grown up, bud.
We're all grown up and old.
You're all grown up.
What do you want to say before we get out of here, dude?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks to all the people. Thanks to all the people watching. Thanks to all the people in the studio. It's always a good time hanging out with you guys. Appreciate the support, and look forward to the next one.
Yeah, sweet, dude. And
Thank you,
we'll
sir.
see you at the classic, and we'll be with you in the Alpha Angler booth for a bit. We're all going.
Yeah, man.
We're all
Yes.
coming down, and we're gonna work the Alpha
See,
booth.
we've never
Amen.
been able to do that before. That's what I'm talking about.
It's happening.
So, what you want to bring us out with some testify? What do you think, Ginge? Let's go to church. Let's go to Bass Galaxy Church again. You ready? You ready?
You've got some energy, sir.
Wow, no, thank you for coming along. Oh, BMP, he's still fishing strong. He's the prodigy. BMP. Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Palaniuk. Once again. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Amen.
Yes, sir. Testify. Brandon,
Always impressed. Nevertheless.
we'll see you in a little bit, man.
All right.
It's Brandon
Peace and hair
Palaniuk.
grease.
Later, man.
Brandon
you.
Palaniuk. Wow. Kapow. What do you think of that?
Fun stew.
That was fun stew and giggles dumplings right there. There's no doubt about it.
Oh yeah,
Brandon Palaniuk.
good guy.
Brandon Palaniuk. So what do you want to do now, right? Let's
I'm gonna put on sunglasses.
let's put on JP's got his amphibious on already.
You want to get blues?
Dude, actually
Let's give something away first.
you want to give something away? Is that
I
what
think
you want-
I think it's time to give.
I think we should
something
give something away.
All right, let's give something away. What we're giving
Anybody
away
watching?
line and lure conditioner tonight.
Little bout of stern. It's the value pack, correct?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got Armor All, line and
Bingo.
lure,
Yep.
or Armor Shield,
Yep.
line and lure,
Yes.
and bow to stern.
Bunch of goodies.
It's got it
Producer Kinsey.
Yeah, Andy, you
don't need
look
to see
amazing in those, by the way.
These glasses are too effective.
Those are like those are the dark Wayfarer ones. I gave you
wafers?
they're the what do they call them? The waves? The
Waves.
waft? Are those the wafts? Is that
Those
the
are
waft?
wafts. Yeah.
I think this is the coolest we've all looked as a group.
Yeah,
though, honestly.
JP looks amazing.
You take a look at us. We're looking
JP looks
nice.
amazing over there. So what do you want to do? You want to give it away?
Yeah, let's do
Did you
it.
do it on the randomizer?
JP uses calculator, and we have a name.
We have a winner.
Yep.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
Right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Do it.
The winner is Taurus Lopez. Taurus Lopez, you have won.
Taurus Lopez.
Taurus, like the actual.
Like the bull?
No, yeah, the.
That's a freaking awesome name.
Taurus.
He's named like a bull.
Wow.
Taurus Lopez?
Like-
I want him on our team.
Like this guy.
Can you call him and have him on our team?
JP can do that.
We can
Taurus
use a
Lopez.
Taurus.
Bingo. Taurus Lopez, yeah.
Nice. He just won $50
He won.
worth a
50
line and lure conditioner,
buckaroos,
Arma
man.
shield, and bow to stern bow careening products.
Congratulations, Taurus.
Yeah, courtesy of Isaac Moore and the good people at
No more burn
at
thumbs
bow
for
to
that
stern.
guy.
He just has to DM
Now
us.
let's take us out with some real music tonight. What do you think?
Oh, hey, I have this guitar right
Let's
here.
do that. Let's cut
Look at
that.
that.
Cut that stuff, Ginge. Cut that. There you go. Let's do it. What do you want? I'm gonna let you pick anything you want, and I'm gonna vibe along with you. All right? You ready? You do whatever you want. I kind of like that. All right, here I come. You ready? Well, it's been a long time in the Bass Galaxy, cruising in my water sled through the sea, and I saw you. You were out there on the lake. And I gotta say, Stray Cats outdoor cartoon television, glorified version of a bass fishing talk show. Same time next week on a Wednesday night. That's right. That's where we are. Right here. The Stray Cats. .net. Have no fear. We're coming back next week at 7 o'clock right here on Stray Cats Outdoor Cartoon Television, the glorified version of an outdoor cartoon bass fishing talk show. Good night.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Good night.
Testify.
I'm Pat Remick. Peace. See you next week.
Bye.